Hello and welcome to Higher Ground Gaming. This is Eric. My co-host Mr. Brody is here, along with Purple Monkey, Blue Penguin, and Blue Duck, ready to broadcast to you another game from the 1967 Impossible Dream, well, now 51st anniversary. It's part of our 50th anniversary series. It's a game from May 25th of 1967, and this looks like probably one of the best pitch-ups of the day, if not the best. Ferguson Jenkins on the mound for the Chicago Cubs against Jim Maloney for the Cincinnati Reds. If you haven't checked out yet, Bleacher Bums Gaming is doing a Ferguson Jenkins replay from the, I believe, 1969 season. And he's about halfway through on that. Very good series there using payoff pitch baseball. So check that out too, cards and dice version. All right, so Ferguson Jenkins on the hill for the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs so far in the replay are 13 and 22, as you can see. At the actual point of this game of the season, the Cubs were, as I get to load, Cincinnati Reds are 17 and 24. Ferguson Jenkins, we can check out his stats while that's loading. Ferguson Jenkins comes in with a 4-4 record in the replay with a 2.55 earned run average, 74 innings pitched, 55 hits allowed, 13 walks, and 62 strikeouts. He was 20 and 13 with a 2.80 earned run average on the actual season. And this Miss Maggs just came in the room here too, so Miss Maggs is saying hi to all her fans. See, oh, there she is. You can go hi, say hi to Mr. Brody there. All right. Miss Mag, sit in the co-host seat. You can be the other co-host. Oh, guess not. All right. So let's see here. So it's still loading for some reason. I don't know why. But trying to bring up the box score here. Anyway, all right, here it goes. So the Chicago Cubs were actually 19 and 16 coming this game, so they're not faring as well. But neither are the Cincinnati Reds, who were 27 and 13 coming into this. So Cincinnati Reds kind of the opposite record coming into this, and Chicago not doing as well either. So both teams underperforming so far in the season. So the lineup for the Cincinnati Reds is going to be Tommy Harper, who will lead it off and play right field. Vada Pinson is in center field, batting second. Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle, will play left field and bat third. Tony Perez, the third baseman, hits cleanup, followed by Don Plavletish behind the plate. Batting sixth, Darren Johnson, the first baseman. Tommy Helms is his second baseman, batting seventh. Leo Cardenas, the shortstop, bats eighth, and Jim Maloney on the hill will bat ninth. So the defense behind Jenkins is going to be Williams in left, Phillips in center, and Thomas in right. Phillips the best defender of the three in center with a range of above average range. Very low error rating. Williams also in left, extremely low error ratings, the best of the three. And Thomas below average range in right. Average arms for all the fields except for Thomas in right, who has a below average arm. The infield is Santo, Kessinger, Becker, and Banks. Santo with the best range at third, but a fairly high error rating with an 18. Is that 18? No, I'm sorry, a 10 error rating. Better get my glasses on here. Yeah, so a 10 error rating. Kessinger above average at shortstop. Becker and Banks average on the right side of the infield. And behind the plate is Todd Hundley, who's above average range and above average pass ball rating with a low error rating and as an average arm. Jenkins on the hill, cat-like reflexes with excellent range and a low error rating. So that's the defense behind Jenkins. Wrigley Field is -1 to strikeouts, so they'll will have as many strikeouts and +1 to walks, so they'll have a little bit above average walks, and home runs are average. No adjustments to those. So Tommy Harper steps into the box. Tommy Harper comes in hitting .244 in the season. In 27 games, he's homered 3 times and has 7 runs batted in. .225 hitter for the actual season. So Jenkins looks in for the sign from Hundley. Here's the windup in the pitch. And that is going to be a fly ball to right. Thomas is there and makes the catch for out number 1. That's how we'll begin. So next up, the center fielder, Veda Pinson, comes in hitting .265, 2 homers, 13 runs batted in. Jenkins in for the sign from Hundley. Nods his head, kicks and delivers. And that is going to be, no, it's not going to be a strikeout. They call it ball 3, so full count now on Pinson. Jenkins not too happy with that call. And this is going to be a fly ball to center. And Phillips is there for out number 2. Next up, Pete Rose is off to a fast start, hitting .368 so far in the replay. .301 hitter on the actual season. 4 homers and 23 runs batted in. Jenkins, Rose will bat left against the righty Jenkins. So here's the windup in the pitch. And Miss Maggs has got some words to say here as the pitch is delivered. And that's going to be a ground ball to short. Kessinger up with over to Banks, and that will end the inning. So the Reds go in order in the first. So Jim Maloney on the hill. Jim Maloney in the replay so far has a 1-2 record with a 4.89 earned average, 31 1/3 innings pitched, 43 hits allowed, which is way above his innings pitched. 10 walks and 21 strikeouts. On the actual season, he was 15-11 with a 3.25 earned run average, and his hits were below his innings pitched by about 15 hits. So the defense behind Maloney is going to be Rose in left, Pinson in center, Harper in right. Harper the best range in right, and extremely low error rating. Actually, all 3 of them with low error ratings, so very sure-handed outfield, all with average arms. In the infield, it's Perez, Cardenas, Helms, and Johnson, all average except for Perez at third, who would later move to first because he has below average range at third base. And all with fairly low numbers there for error rating. So very, very excellent defense overall as far as when they get to it, they make the play. Pavlich behind the plate. Pavlich has below average range, average pass ball rating, slightly highest error rating of any of the fielders, and a below average arm. Maloney on the hill, below average range, but very sure-handed. So the lineup for the hometown Chicago Cubs is going to be Don Kessinger, the shortstop will lead it up. Switch-hitting shortstop will lead it off. Glenn Becker, the second baseman, hits second. Billy Williams, the left fielder, hits third. Batting cleanup, Ron Santo. Ernie Banks, the first baseman, hits fifth, followed by Lee Thomas, the right fielder. Behind the plate, Randy Hundley bats seventh. Adolfo Phillips is the center fielder, batting eighth, and Ferguson Jenkins on the hill will bat ninth. So Kessinger comes in hitting .234 in the replay, right next to his .231 average for the season, with 9 runs batted in. So Kessinger steps into the box. Maloney looks in for the sign from Pavlich. Here's the windup in the pitch. And then it's going to be a possible error rating, an error. And that's going to be a line or two short. And that will be caught by Cardenas for out number 1. So Beckert up now. Beckert, .273 in the replay. 11 runs batted in. Still looking for his first home run. Maloney looks in for the sign. He has the windup in the pitch. And that's going to be a pop-up to third. Perez will make the catch for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down for the Cubs. Billy Williams up now. Sweet swinging Billy Williams. 291 average with 6 homers and 34 runs batted in. Pitch. And that's going to be a range play at Wrigley Field. Ooh, and possible home run here for Williams. And this looks like it's going to be a homer. Deep and gone. So sweet swinging Billy Williams goes yard and puts the Cubs on top, 1-0. So the Cubs strike first. Ron Santo up now. Santo hitting .217. 3 homers, 19 runs batted in. Off to a slow start power-wise. Could this be back-to-back home runs here? It will not be. Unless there's, could be. I think there might be a home run possibility off of his card. One of the split chances, possibly. Ooh, just missed the split chance. No, actually, no, it didn't. So it's going to be a fly ball deep to right. So he makes a bid, but it'll be caught for out number 3. But the Cubs strike first on a solo home run by Billy Williams, and they go up 1-0 after 1. So Jenkins back on the hill with a 1-1 lead now. Tony Perez hitting .333 in the replay with 6 homers, 28 runs batted in. Pitch by Jenkins. And that'll be a fly ball to right. Thomas is there to make the catch for out number 1. Pavletish hitting well so far in the replay, hitting .306, 2 homers and 10 runs batted in, about 60 points, almost 70 points above his average for the season. Pitch by Jenkins. And no, he takes strike 2, so that's going to make the count full. And next pitch, he's going to line one to left field. That's going to go into the corner. Williams digs it out, but not before Pavletish ends up with a 1-out double. So Darren Johnson up now. Johnson hitting .233. 2 homers, 11 runs batted in. And that's going to be a ground ball to third. Santo up and over to Banks for out number 2. As Pavletish holds at second. So 2 outs now for Tommy Helms. See if he can tie the game here with a base hit. Struggling so far in the replay, only hitting .196. .274 in the actual season. 9 runs batted in. And Mr. Brody repositions himself there. Alrighty. Jenkins looks in for the sign. Looks at the runner, kicks and delivers. And he's going to fly out to Phillips to end the inning. So the Reds cannot get on the board, and it's 1-0 after 1.5. Ernie Banks up now. He's been struggling on their season. Part of the reason why the Cubs are only 13-22. Hitting just .214 with 3 homers and 14 runs batted in. Maloney kicks and delivers. And Banks will go down swinging for out number 1. So 1 gone now as Banks continues to struggle. Lee Thomas up now. Thomas hitting just .074 in 81 at-bats with 2 runs batted in. And we are also doing a 1961 replay, so that's where Thomas's picture is from. Arkai Yastrzemski career replay from his rookie season. So Randy Hundley up now with 2 outs and the base is empty. Hundley hitting .303 in the replay so far with a homer and 8 runs batted in. Maloney fires and strikes him out looking for it. So the Cubs go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. After 2 full, it's 1-0 Chicago. Leo Cardenas hitting just 194 with 5 runs batted in. And the replay. Fergie kicks and delivers. And it's going to be a ground ball to second. Beckert upward over to Banks for out number 1. So that'll bring up the pitcher Maloney. Maloney hitting 167 on the season in 12 at-bats. 159 for the actual season. And that'll be a foul ball. Maloney back in the box. And Maloney's going to get himself a double to center field over the head of Phillips. So Phillips was playing him shallow, goes over his head all the way to the wall. And Maloney, helping his own cause, wound up at second with just 1 down. So the tying run, scoring position for Tommy Harper. Harper 0 for 1 so far. Jenkins looks in for the sign from Hundley. Looks back at Maloney. And he'll get Harper. So Jenkins took offense to Maloney getting a hit off him. Strikes out the next batter. So Pinson up now. Pinson 0 for 1. And this is a possible error on a grounder to 4. Oh, it's going to be a base hit. So that will tie the game as Maloney comes around the score. So Jenkins not very happy with himself there. That one pitch got too much of the plate to Pinson. And that will tie the game at 1. Next up, Pete Rose. As Pinson takes his lead off first. Banks holding him on. Jenkins looks in for the sign. Looks over at the runner. Kicks and delivers. Rose 0 for 1 so far today. And we have an error on a throw possibility here. 5-6. And that will be an out, as it's just a liner to second to end the inning. Ooh, actually, there is an error check on that one. Even if it is a liner, surprisingly. So no harm there. No error. And it remains... Actually, it becomes 1-1 now as the... Hold on there, I lost my train. As the Reds tie it up on the double by Maloney and the single by Pinson. So it'll be Phillips, Jenkins, and Kessinger up against Maloney here in the bottom of the third. Phillips hitting .235 in the replay. About 30 points behind his season average. 4 homers and 17 runs batted in. Wind up in the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball to first. Johnson handles it cleanly. Takes it to the bag himself for out number 1. That'll bring up Jenkins. Jenkins not doing much at the plate so far this year. Just hitting .040 with an RBI. 151 hitter on the actual season. Maloney looks in for the sign. Jenkins looking to do some harm to Maloney as Maloney did to Jenkins. And he cannot, as he looks foolish swinging there as he changed speeds on him. And strikes him out for out number 2. Kessinger up now. Kessinger hitting is 0 for 1 on the day. And we have an error check. And that's going to be a ground ball to short. And it's going to be booted by Cardenas. And Kessinger will reach on a 2-out misplay. Maloney fires to first. And almost gets him. Not quite though, as the umpire calls Kessinger safe. Almost caught him leading there. error check here on the next pitch. And that is going to be a base hit. And an error on Rose, as Rose very short-handed, has trouble with this one. As he boots this one. So a rare error for Rose. We'll put runners on second and third with 2 down. See if the Cubs can get back on top after the error by Rose. So Billy Williams up now. He's already homered today, 1 for 1. They do have an empty base, but they're going to pitch to him anyway. And oh, they takes ball 3, full count now. So they're being very careful with Williams. And he'll pop up the 3-2 pitch to second to end the inning. So the error does not prove costly by Rose, and it remains 1-1 as we head to the 4th. So Perez, Pavletish, and Johnson up against Jenkins here in the top of the 4th. Perez 0 for 1 on the day. And that is going to be a range play. And Kessinger will not be able to get just beyond his reach. That'll scoot into left field. Williams throws it back in, and Perez will be on with a leadoff single. So Pavletish up now. He doubled but was left stranded there his first time up. And we have another range check here. And Williams will get to, Thomas will get to this one and make the catch for out number 1 as Perez heads back to first. So 1 down now for Johnson. 0 for 1. And we have an error check possibility on a grounder to Kessinger. And Kessinger will make the play. See if he can turn 2. And he'll go to second for 1 and back to first, which will end the inning. So ahead to the bottom of the 4th, with the score still tied at 1. So Santo to lead it off against Maloney. Santo 0 for 1 so far today. And that's going to be a successful range play by Cardenas over to first. So 1 down now from Mr. Ernie Banks, who struck out as Maloney made him look foolish his first time up. This time, oh no, he thought he had ball 4, but does not, so he has to head back to the box. So 3-2 the count. And he'll ground this next one to Perez at third and make the play over to first for out number 2. Mr. Brody with some itches here, it looks like. So Lee Thomas up now. 0 for 1. His struggles continue. And we have a range check at Wrigley Field. A ballpark check, I should say. 6-5. And this could be a home run. And not much power for Thomas. I don't think it will be. It will not. And he will fly out to deep right. But it'll stay in the park for out number 3. So Thomas made a bid there, but is denied. And we'll head to the top of the 5th. The score knotted at 1. So bottom third of the order, Helms, Cardenas, and Maloney up against Jenkins. And that'll be a foul ball. Jenkins kicks and delivers. Range play. And Becker will get this one easily over to Banks at first for out number 1. So Cardenas up now. He's 1 for 3. Sorry, 0 for 1, hitting 193. And that's going to be a foul ball. And he fouls another one off. So quickly in the hole, 0-2. And he will strike out on 3 pitches. And that will be 2 outs in the red 5th. So Maloney up now. Maloney doubled and scored to tie the game. 4-3. And this time, though, he looks bad on a pitch, as Jenkins took something off of that one. Now we'll end the inning as the Reds go in order in the top of the 5th. So halfway through, 1-1. Hundley up now, struck out against Maloney his first time up. So good pitchers duel as promised, with the Cubs having 2 hits and the Reds 4. And that's going to be a ground ball to Helms at second over to Johnson for out number 1. So Phillips up now. Phillips 0 for 1. And he'll ground this one to Perez at third. Makes the play for out number 2. Jenkins up now. Jenkins struck out his first time up against Maloney. And he'll get a hit this time. And no, actually he won't, as Pinson comes in and makes a nice running catch to end the inning. So through 5 full, it's Cincinnati 1 and Chicago 1. So top of the order, Harper, Pinson, and Rose up against Jenkins. And he'll strike out Harper. So 4 Ks on the day now for Jenkins. Let's see if we can get this to change here. It's right next to our recording button, so we don't want to be careful we don't hit the recording, shutting it off. So 1 down here in the top of the 6th. Brings up Pinson, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI. Singled home Maloney to tie the game at 1. And he'll draw the walk. So first walk given up by Fergie. So 1 out base runner for Pete Rose, who's 0 for 2 on the day. And looks like we get a range play here, and that is going to be a ground ball to Beckert, who's average range. He will get to it. Fire to second for 1, back to first, so a 4-6-3 double play will end the Reds top of the 6th. So we'll head to the home half of the 6th with the score: the Cubbies 1 and the Reds 1. And the Cubs will also have their top of the order with Kessinger, Beckert, and Williams up against Maloney. Maloney has only allowed 2 hits so far. One of them being a solo home run by Billy Williams. So Kessinger 2 up to the plate. And that's going to be a ground ball to Helms, who'll make the play for out number 1. So Beckert up now, 1 for 2, has the other Chicago hit. And it's going to be a range play on Cardenas, whose average range does not get to this one as it scoots by him into left field. And the Cubs will have their 3rd hit. So it looks like the Cubs are going to be hit and running here with Billy Williams, who's 1 for 2 with that solo home run. And it's going to be off the batter card. And that is going to be a pop-up to second. And Helms will make the catch as Beckert hurries back to first. So 2 down now for Santos, 0 for 2. He takes ball 3, so 3 and 2 on Ron. And he'll fly out to right to end the inning. So after 6 full, the pitcher's tool continues. It's 1-1. So at the top of the 7th, the Reds will have Perez, Pavlovich, and Johnson up against Jenkins. Fergie. And no, he takes strike 2. So Perez thought he had to walk there. So full count now on Perez. And it's going to be a split check here. And that is going to be hit into the gap. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Phillips has trouble digging it out. And that is going to be a leadoff triple for Tony Perez. So the Reds in business to start off the top of the 7th. There is action in the Chicago pen. And let's check and see who might be up and throwing there. It looks like Cal Kuntz is up there and starting to loosen up in the Chicago bullpen. Fergie would pitch just 5 innings in the actual game, allowing 4 runs, and Kuntz would come in and pitch 4 scoreless innings to get the victory. So Pavlovich up now. See if he can put the Reds in the lead here. Jenkins looks in for the sign, looks at the runner, kicks and delivers. Ooh, a possible error on a grounder. 2-1, and that is going to be a pop-up. That's not a grounder. So that will be a pop-up to second. Beckert makes the easy catch. And Perez back to third. So 1 down now for Darren Johnson, 0 for 2. First baseman looks at the next pitch. And he is going to ground one to short. Perez was off with the pitch, so Kessinger has no chance. As they go for the short out at first. So why is that a possible double play there? No. So he will score, and they'll take the automatic out at first. So the Reds take the lead 2-1 on the RBI ground out by Johnson. So Helms up now. Helms on the day. And he does not get hit by the pitch. Grounds one weakly to second to end the inning. But the Reds take the lead on a RBI ground out by Darren Johnson. It's 2-1 as we head to the home half of the 7th inning stretch time here in Chicago, as they sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." All right, Ernie Banks up there now. Ernie Banks 0 for 2 on the day. Maloney back out there now with the lead. And Banks gets Chicago fans up and off their seats with a double to right as it goes into the corner. Harper digs it out, and a leadoff double as a tying run is in scoring position with nobody out. Thomas, not a good bunter. Let's see here. Do we want to pinch hit for Lee Thomas? I think we do. See, Upham and Savage were used as pinch hitters in the actual game. Savage, 215 hitter. And Should have checked, actually. Upham is not on the roster. Must be on another team. All right. So let's see here. Do we want to pick them or somebody else? I think we maybe want to go with Clarence Jones. Clarence Jones, 252 hitter with 13 runs scored, 16 RBIs. We could go with Savage, though. 215, 33. Does have a little pop, too. I think we're going to go with Savage. He was used in the actual game, so we'll bring in Ted Savage to pinch hit. Hopefully we have somebody to play right field. Not sure if Savage can play right. We'll have to figure that out afterward. So, one down in the runner in scoring position for Ted Savage. Savage faring well in the replay so far. 25 at-bats. He's batting .360 with a homer and an RBI. So, logical choice for the manager. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field. That will not be deep, and Banks has to hold at second as it's too shallow. So Savage unable to get the job done. So let's see what Randy Hundley can do now. Hundley is 0 for 2 against Maloney so far. So just one down now. 4 and oh, it looks like a possible wild pitch here, and then it's going to be a wild pitch on Maloney, so that will move the tying run to third base now. So a fly ball could get the run home. So Hundley back in the box. Maloney looks in for the sign, kicks and delivers. Oh, and that is going to be, oh no, it's just beyond the both ratings of that, as Pavletish gets in front of it and smothers it, as Banks holds at third. So that was close to scoring, tying the game there. So Maloney a little erratic here under pressure, but he does recover and strikes out Hundley for out number 2. So a good comeback by Maloney. So it'll bring up Phillips. Phillips 0 for 2 so far. So they'll need a base hit now to score the run, most likely. And they'll get it as Adolfo Phillips gets his first hit of the day. And it was a big one as it ties the game at 2 as Banks comes home to score easily. And it's a 2-2 game now. Let's see how much Jenkins has in the tank here. Jenkins still quite a bit left in the tank. He can handle the bat. We're going to let him hit for himself with 2 down here and a runner on first. If it was a runner in scoring position, we might consider pinch hitting, but we'll let him hit away here. Hit for himself. And ooh, now we have a decision though. Passed ball, and that will move the runner to scoring position. So we're going to pinch hit for Jenkins. You gotta get that run home there. So let's see here. Who do we want to pinch hit? Possibly Al Spangler, maybe? Al Spangler kind of looks like our best choice here. Not very much on the bench there. Or do we want to leave Jenkins in? Hold on here. Jenkins 151. No, I think we still got a pinch hit. That's just the right thing to do. So I'm going to bring in Al Spangler to pinch hit for Jenkins. And Jenkins' day is done. So Spangler just 167 so far and 1 for 6. 254 in the actual season, 13 runs batted in. So Maloney looks in for the sign from Hundley, looks back at the runner Phillips, trying to keep him close. Spangler ready to grip and rip. Here's the windup in the pitch. And that is going to be a liner out to Banks to end the inning. But the Cubs do score a run and tie the game at 2. But now Jenkins is done for the day. So let's see who we're going to bring in. And it was Kuntz, I think it was. Cal Kuntz seems like a good logical choice here. So Cal Kuntz comes in to leave Jenkins here. And it's going to be the right fielder we need now, I think. It was right field. And yeah, we can't. I suppose we could do a double. Well, we could have done a double switch, but they already took out. They already took out Spangler. Huh. Okay, well, I guess we can't use Spangler now. That's alright. We can still use Brian Brown. Yeah, we can use Brian Brown, I think, for now. He's very short-handed, average range, so, and just as good as arm as Spangler. So he's actually a little bit better than Spangler defensively, so we will do that. We will put in Brian Brown, take over. We probably don't have a photo of him, is my guess, since he is limited use. All right, so Cal Kuntz on now to pitch for the Cubs. Kuntz has no decision so far with a 2.52 earned run average in 10 2/3 innings, 9 hits allowed, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts. The national season was 5-5 with a 3.75 earned run average and 2 saves. So Cardenas, 0 for 2 on the day, steps to the box. Game tied at 2 now. And that's going to be a fly ball to Williams. Makes the catch for out number 1. And I'm going to let Maloney hit for himself here. See what he's got left in the tank here. See what our bench looks like here. So in the actual game, they use Cruz as a pinch runner. Ruiz, sorry. Floyd Robinson came in as a pinch hitter. And Johnny Edwards also. Floyd Robinson. I think we may bring in Floyd Robinson. .238, yeah. And the other choice is Johnny Edwards. 206, I think. Yeah, I think we're going to bring in Floyd Robinson. So Maloney's day is done, as was Jenkins. So like Floyd Robinson, who used to be on the Chicago White Sox. Yeah, he's been on fire so far this season, hitting .364 and 33 at-bats with 2 runs batted in. So he'll come in with 1 out, and the base is empty in the top of the 8th. Delivers. And we have a range play at Wrigley Field, 2-5, and that is going to be a range play on, it's on Santo, who has excellent range, so barring a 6, he should make the play. And it's a 1, so Santo will easily make the play for out number 2. So Tommy Harper 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Those against Jenkins. He's glad to see Jenkins gone. Oh, and he takes ball 3, so 3-2 on Harper. That's a ground ball back to Kuntz, over to Banks. And that will do it for Cincinnati in the 8th. So Cincinnati will bring on, see who they used in the actual game. They used Arago and Abernathy. I think we'll bring in, let's see, lefty. We got a switch hitter, Kessinger, and a righty. Kessinger, not much of a threat there. do we want to bring in our closer in a tie game? We'll bring in a Wrigley. At least we'll see how he does. And we'll see how Beckert is against lefties. So Arago on. Arago used to be on the Twins. 1-1 record, 6.29 ERA. Ooh, 14 to 30 innings pitched, 15 hits allowed. Was 6-6 with 3.16 in the actual season. I mean, So Arago delivers to Kessinger, who's batting righty now. Kessinger not a threat to hit a home run, as he had, let's see here, 2-1, 4-5, and that will be a ground ball to second. Helms up with it. Oh, that Johnson for out number 1. So let's look at Beckert. Beckert, actually, he has no power against lefties, so we're going to let him hit against the lefty. There we go. And, oh, doesn't strike out a lot, though, at all against lefties. And he's going to get himself a base hit. So a 1-out single for Beckert. We'll bring up Billy Williams. And, yeah, lefty and lefty. We'll keep him in. Although Williams, a power threat from both sides of the plate. I mean, not both sides of the plate, but against both lefties and righties, as he has a lefty. And he'll take ball 3, so full count. So Arago being very careful with Williams, who's already homered today. And that is going to be a ground ball to second. And the only play is, the only play is going to be to first, as it was slowly hit. So Beckert moving the scoring position with 2 down now, as Williams is retired. So Santo with a chance to put the Cubs on top. And that will be it for Arago, as they're going to summon the closer, Abernathy, to come in to try to keep this a tie game. So Ted Abernathy comes in. 1-2 on the season. On the replay, 5 saves, 4.88 earned run average, 20 and 2 third innings pitched, 25 hits allowed, 9 walks, 13 strikeouts. Not nearly as good as his 6-3 record and 1.27 earned run average on the actual season. 106 innings pitched, only allowing 63 hits, so he has been nowhere near his stellar season in 1967. Also had 28 saves. So Santo steps into the box, looking to try to put the Cubs on top. Abernathy looks in for the sign from Pavlich. Looks back at Beckert, kicks and delivers. Oh, and he's going to take ball 3. He thought he had strike 3. So full count now on Santo. And that's going to be a ground ball to Johnson at first. He'll make the play to end the inning. So we head to the 9th with the score knotted at 2. So Kuntz out there again for his second inning of relief. Pinson, Rose, and Perez on for the Reds against Kuntz. Pinson 1 for 2 with a walk and an RBI. And that is going to be a liner to Kuntz, who makes a nice play for out number 1. So Charlie Hustle up now, 0 for 3 on the day. And he takes ball 3. 3-2 the count now on Rose. And this could be for extra bases, and that is going to go into the gap. Williams and Phillips try to chase it down. Phillips gets it, and Charlie Hustle lives up to his name as he ends up at third with a Hustle triple there. So Pete Rose representing the go-ahead run at first now. At third with just 1 down. As Hundley goes out the top to Kuntz. Goes back behind the plate. So that's going to bring up Tony Perez, who already has 2 hits today, a triple and a single, and a run scored. He's going to be very careful with Perez. Let's see if he decides to pitch to him. Looks like he is going to pitch to him. And that is going to be fly ball to left. Let's see if it's deep enough to score the run. And that will be deep enough. Rose tags. Williams throws home. Williams just an average arm, and that will put the Reds on top. So Tony Perez on sacrifice fly scores Rose and puts the Reds on top 3-2. And that is going to be it for Kuntz, as he coughs up the go-ahead run. And Joe Niekro will come on. So Niekro, brother Phil Niekro, will come on. Joe Niekro started his career off with the Cubs there. His 0-1 record in the replay with a 6.12 earned run average, 10 and third innings pitched, 11 hits allowed, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. On the actual season, he was 10-7 with 3.34 earned run average, 169 and 2/3 innings pitched, 171 hits allowed, 25 walks, and 77 Ks. So I think he was between the starter and a reliever back in '67. So Pavlovich in there, 1 for 3 on the day with a double. Nico trying to get the final out at the top of the 9th. And that's going to be a fly ball to Brown and right. And he'll make the catch to end the inning. But the Reds score 1 on the triple by Rose and the sacrifice fly by Perez. And it's 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Cubs will have Banks, Brown, and Hundley. If anybody gets on Phillips up against Abernathy, who'll try to close it out and get the win. He is in line for the win. So Banks 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Abernathy looks in for the sign, kicks and delivers. And that's going to be a fly ball to deep right. Harper will stay in the ballpark though, and Harper makes the catch for out number 1. So do we want to have Byron Brown hit? And the answer is no. He's hitting just 150. He hit just 158 on the season, 167 in the replay. So Byron Brown will be lifted for a pinch hitter. Oh boy, pretty weak overall. I think we're going to go with Popovich here. Looks like he's our best bet. We could go with Clarence Jones. We'll go with Clarence Jones, I think. So Clarence Jones, the lefty, will come in the pinch hit for Brown. So Clarence Jones faring well in the replay, 6 for 18 with 2 runs batted in. So a logical choice to come on the pinch hit here. So Abernathy looks in for the sign. The Jones. Ooh, error check here, possibility. 1-3. And then it's going to be a base hit. No error as Pinson gets it back in, but a pinch hit single for Clarence Jones puts the tying run on. And do we want to lift him for a pinch runner? Probably, if we can have a base runner of 4 or 5. But they do not have any 4s or 5s on the bench, so we're going to leave him in. So that'll bring up Randy Hundley. He's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Only a decent hitter, though, so I think we're going to leave him in. He's got some pop. Clarence not with much speed, though. Do we have any of these guys with speed? They don't show the stolen base ability in any of these other guys. So Guess we're just going to leave him in. All right. Possibility of a hit and run, maybe? Huntley doesn't strike out a lot, so we might want to go with a hit and run. I think we're going to put him in motion here. Hit and run cannot be attended. Okay, that answers our question there. All right, so Huntley up to the plate there. Jones gets his lead off first. Banks holding him. Oh, this could be a possibility of a home run. No. As Abernathy, very stingy. Only a 1 out of 20 chance and nothing against lefties. So he's definitely the man you want up there. And, oh, Henley had a 10 rating here. So he had a 50% chance. So 1 out of 3 here. 1-3. And that is going to be a ground ball to second. This could be 2. And no, they do get the lead runner, though. As Jones is forced out at second, as Kessinger takes to the bag himself. But decides not to risk a return throw. So Huntley will reach on the fielder's choice. So Cubs are down in the last out. They do have Adolfo Phillips, who already has an RBI today, 1 for 3. And they're going to try to pick off Huntley at first, and he's back safely. So trying to keep Huntley close. Huntley, a very good runner for a base runner for a catcher. So Abernathy looks in for the sign, looks at the runner. Phillips ready to grip and rip. Oh, we have a range play here. Let's see. At Wrigley Field, 3-4. Oh, and just missed the home run there. 3-4 is going to be a fly ball to right. Harper is under it. And he makes the catch. So the Cubbies will fall to the Cincinnati Reds by a score of 3-2. So good pitching game there by both clubs. So no home runs for Cincinnati. Williams got his 7th home run of the season. Ted Abernathy gets the win. He's 2-2. Cal Coons takes the loss, 0-1. Let's take a look at the box score here. All right, so Jim Maloney pitched 7 strong innings, allowing 5 hits, 2 runs, all of them earned. 4 walks. No walks and 4 strikeouts. Allowed that solo home run to Billy Williams. And threw a 1 wild pitch. Arrigo came on and pitched 2/3 of an inning, allowing 1 hit. And Abernathy pitched 1 1/3 innings, allowing 1 hit, getting the win. So Ferguson Jenkins also pitched 7 strong innings, very similar line to Maloney. 7 innings pitched, also 5 hits, also 2 runs, also both of them earned. Did Walker batter, and also struck out 4, so about as close as you can get there, other than that 1 walk. Identical lines there. But he did not allow a wild pitch or a home run. So, no decision for Jenkins. Cal Kuntz will take the loss. He pitched 1 2/3 innings. He did take the loss in the actual game. Let's see here. Pitch 1 2/3 innings, all in 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned. Joe Nico came in and pitched 1/3 of an inning. And let's get the camera here out of the way, or move the scoreboard here. Alright. So let's see here. So for the victorious Reds, Tommy Harper 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Beta Pinson 1 for 3 with an RBI and a walk. Pete Rose 1 for 4 with a run scored and a triple. Tony Perez 2 for 3 with a run scored, an RBI, and a triple. So 2 triples for the Reds. Pavlitish, 1 for 4 with a double. Darren Johnson, 0 for 3 with the sacrifice fly. Tommy Helms, 0 for 3. Cardenas, 0 for 3. Jim Maloney helping his own cause, 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. And Floyd Robinson, 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Arago and Abernathy did not get plate appearances. So Kessinger, 0 for 4 for the Chicago Cubs. Glenn Beckert, 3 for 4. Billy Williams, 1 for 4, solo home run. Ernie Banks, 1 for 4 with a run scored and a double. Lee Thomas, 0 for 2 in right field. Ted Savage, pinch hitter, 0 for 1. Randy Hundley, 0 for 4. Adolfo Phillips, 1 for 4 with an RBI. Fergie Jenkins, 0 for 2. And Al Spangler came on as a pinch hitter, 0 for 1. Also, Clarence Jones, 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter. So, player of the game. Well, since Maloney and Jenkins were so close there, we're going to kind of cancel each other out there. And we're going to give the player of the game, I think, to Tony Perez, who was involved in 2 runs, one scoring one and getting an RBI. So we're going to give player of the game to Tony Perez for the Cincinnati Reds. So that is it. So thank you for joining me. This is a game again from May 25th of 1967. And if you hold on just a minute, I'm going to tell you, if I remember, I've already kind of decided who I was going to, let's see here, who I was going to feature in the next game. So this will be game Friday 27th of 1967. And as soon as I can get to load on May 26th here. So it was a very good matchup. I remember that. I just couldn't remember who it was offhand. So this was a good pitcher's duel as promised, with the Reds coming up on top 3-2. All right, so let's see here. Let's see if I can tell here from the winners and losers here. Yeah, this was it. Yep. So the next game from May 26, 67 will be between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants. Will feature Juan Marichal for the Giants, who is having an excellent replay, as you can see by his record, and his ERA is minuscule, against Don Sutton of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So that'll be a good one. So Marichal against Sutton, and then our next game, the 1967 Impossible Dream replay. So take care and God bless, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.